Hey guys, this is the first video of an 8-part series in which we're going to look at praying through the Lord's Prayer or the Our Father. I've come to believe that this prayer, which is found in a couple versions of the Gospels, is the sort of shortest condensed version of Jesus' teachings. And a lot of us have learned to say the prayer from different Christian backgrounds or perspectives, right? We kind of know it goes something like, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses or debts as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And then church history is added on, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. So that's the prayer. And many of us may have learned to say that prayer from different backgrounds, and maybe many of us say it a lot, or say it every day, or say it in certain church services. I think it's great to use the prayer in lots of different ways, and the most common one is probably just a rote saying of it. But I want to sort of use this time to teach around the prayer as a way to use it in a more meditative way. So to go through phrase by phrase of the prayer and to spend as much time as you need to on a particular phrase. This is a very common way that I pray, and sometimes I will spend the entire time just thinking about one of the phrases. So in this series, we'll be walking through the kind of 8 different key phrases in the prayer, starting today with the first one, which actually isn't a phrase, it's just a word. The Our Father prayer begins with the word our. And we're just going to think about that for a second, not think about any of the rest of the prayer. Jesus could have taught his disciples to pray, My Father who art in heaven, and it would have meant almost the same thing, but he doesn't. He says, when you pray, pray like this, pray Our Father. And what that does is something that's actually really counterintuitive and not natural for a lot of us. Most of us, when it comes time to pray, it's because we want something or need something and we're thinking about ourselves. So our prayers usually start, God, help me or give me. And what the Lord's Prayer teaches us is that what is normal in a Christian community doesn't mean you can't pray from your own perspective, but what is most normal is to pray our. And I think this is how the prayer starts, so that it puts us in a perspective of being a smaller part, an important part, but a smaller part of a bigger whole. So I will spend a lot of time just asking myself as I begin to pray, what part of the our, or the we, am I praying from today? And I can have a lot of different answers to that. Sometimes when I pray, the our is my family, my wife and kids. It could be as small as that. A lot of times it's my church community, or it's the dozen or so people I work with. Sometimes my our is my city. I pray for the city of Cincinnati. Sometimes it's my state. And currently these days I've been praying a lot for our nation, because we're in the middle of a political season as I record this. And so it's just natural for me to think of the our as being, our country. Sometimes I think of all Christians worldwide that share my faith, and I pray that our, or that we. And also, I believe this applies to every human being. So sometimes my prayers come from a perspective of knowing that people of all races, all religions, all backgrounds are part of they're all part of us. We're all part of the world together. And thinking through each of those different things puts me in a different perspective as I then move forward in the prayer. So what I'd encourage you to do, if you can use these videos in 2 different ways. You can kind of binge watch them like House of Cards, I guess, and watch all 8 of them and then pray. But what might be best is just to, after this video, spend some time praying, and don't think about the rest of the prayer yet. Just ask God, who is my our? Who's my tribe? Who are my communities? And as we go through that exercise, we can spend a lot of time on this first 3-letter word and pray for each person, maybe in our family or the people that come to mind in our church, or pray for the leaders of our nation, or pray for those in the world that may be very different than us. But it puts us in this perspective that it's not all about me, which is how the kingdom starts. It's not all about me, it's about God, and it's about us as a family.